And we will create the new Department of Government Efficiency headed by Elon Musk. And no, he's not taking the presidency. I like having smart people. You know, they're on a new kick. Russia, 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 Ukraine, 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 all the different hoaxes. And the new one is, President Trump has ceded the presidency to Elon Musk. No, that's not happening. But Elon's done an amazing job. Isn't it nice to have smart people that we can rely on? Right? Don't we want that? He's done a great job. And he got over 2,000 units. That's a lot. And they flooded it with Starlink, and it was so good. It saved a lot of lives, so we want to thank him. But no, he's not going to be president, that I can tell you. And I'm safe. You know why? He can't be. He wasn't born in this country. Bitcoin has surged to an all-time record high of $108,000. Congratulations. Congratulations.
Bitcoin is the greatest distraction from the greatest disruption that is coming to financial services. I think AI is probably the other big disruption there. But and there's so much noise around a lot of things like FTX and others. But if you bring the technology down to its core value, it does three things. One is it allows a payment mechanism. Number two, it allows smart contracts to be programmed into the token. And three, because it's a general ledger, it has a source of truth. So whoever has that token, all rights in that token are granted to that person. So if I sell it to Frank, I don't have to go through a third party to do it. Frank gets it, and Frank gets all the rights. So my favorite example is Rihanna, who came out with, right before the Super Bowl, and I know she's just testing the market in this, 300 NFTs, each one worth 0.00033% royalties on one of her biggest songs. Well, why can she do that? She can do it because when Spotify plays a Rihanna song, it can capture, the smart contract executes and says, I owe royalties here. And so nobody has to be involved in it. And it can take the fractional payment and go to, because Frank's a big Rihanna fan, so it goes to his account, and he owns a couple of those, and he's paid, right? So now think about any way in which you have revenue streams or royalty streams that you can now start to fractionalize that or democratize that, and think about how that is an uncorrelated asset to all the traditional assets. So other examples is, I think that athletes are they'll sign a big contract, they'll say to their fans, I'm going to sell off, tokens worth 10% of my future revenue stream. I'm going to, 100,000 tokens, and boom, the fans are going to probably pay a premium for it. So it will be a way, and if you think about it, it's just securitization done on steroids. And it's merely that this technology is enabling it, and it's also enabling other very interesting companies that will disrupt some of the traditional business models that we have today.
Welcome to the Crypto Teacher. And I come back with that video just to make you think.
Don't forget to like and subscribe to the channel.
And make sure you're joining the Patrons. If you're not a part of the Patrons, make sure you're hitting the Cash App. And also, guys, make sure you go like and follow the TikTok. More videos to come. And we have Trump on Doge. And Doge is going to be cutting some of this federal spending. And that's going to lead us to a level playing field. And he says Elon won't be president because he wasn't born here. And we know why he started laughing, because he said the same thing about Obama. Remember, by him attacking Obama, that's what brought him on the scene. Remember, the NWO moves in phases. It was all part of the plan. That's what got Trump in the limelight, and then he ended up running for president. Remember, your life is an illusion, and TV is your reality. And remember, the Crypto Teacher told you. And we have Franklin CEO keeps giving us the truth. Bitcoin is the biggest distraction from what's really happening. And that's the tokenization of this whole economy. Remember, everything is going to be tokenized and put on blockchain. The smart contracts make this money programmable And smart contracts will change everything that we do. And all this is done on an automated ledger, everything being tracked. And when you're looking at stable coins, DeFi, smart contracts, now you can tokenize the debt. And speaking of tokenizing the debt, we look at real estate. And we know real estate is also going to be tokenized, especially equity. And we keep hearing about these drones. And we do own a certain amount of feet above the home when it comes to airspace. But right now, there are no current laws in regards to these drones. So we're going to start seeing a lot of regulation changes. And we know that's what Trump is in there to do. But we have these big banks using these private companies to buy up these single-family homes, which we know that should be illegal. And we keep hearing the mainstream media saying we need affordable homes. And what are they doing? They're bringing in the technology, so therefore they can bring you these 3D homes. And that's going to start dropping the price of housing for new and current homes. Remember I told you, if you bought a house in the last 5 to 7 years, you're definitely going to be upside down, because they're going to be driving the housing prices down to the floor. And when I was growing up, a decent house was anywhere from $50,000 to $120,000. Now it's $180,000 to $400,000. And who kept driving up the price of homes? That's right, the banks. That's the only ones who benefited from it. We saw within our own eyes since 2020 how high housing prices went up due to the C word. They shrunk the supply. So, of course, since demand went up, housing prices went up, and it was artificially done, just like we see in every sector. But all these prices are about to come down, but again, it's going to be manipulated down. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you. And never forget, everything that the Most High gave you, he gave you for free. Free water, lights, gas, housing. It's just a group of greedy men that monopolize and sell the Most High's commodities. And since the sheep are asleep, they get away with it. And remember, the Cryptoteacher told you, because he knows when it comes to the NWO, it's all planned out. You have a wonderful day.
Biden is oblivious about leaving Trump and economy on the precipice of disaster. Andy, do you think that the economy, the American economy, is on the brink of disaster?
Yeah, if we can't stop this deficit spending, if we can't start reducing our deficit, reducing our debt, we're on a path to oblivion here. You look in 2019, our entire federal deficit was about $1 trillion. It was actually a little under $1 trillion. This was the last year under Trump before the pandemic. The deficit, the interest on the debt alone that we're paying over the last 12 months is $1.1 trillion. So interest on the debt actually exceeds what the federal deficit was before the pandemic. This is something that just can't go on. You've got that debt clock up. I mean, the number just keeps getting bigger and bigger and bigger. And Biden had absolutely no plan for reducing either the debt or the deficit. It's all Democrats ever talk about are tax increases, which actually reduce tax revenue over time. Trump's at least got a plan. Cut taxes, increase revenue, reduce spending with Doge, that the Department of Government Efficiency with Musk and Vivek. He's really changed the dynamic on how the government's going to be run going forward. And we desperately need that, and we need it in a hurry. So for Biden to go out and claim he's handing over the best economy in modern history, you really have to be in a fairyland to think that that's even close to true.
As Sears stores close across the country and its parent company is filed for bankruptcy, houses made from kits, which they sold several decades ago, are still standing in neighborhoods across the tri-state and the country.
In the early 1900s, it was a radical idea. Send several $1,000s to Sears Roebuck and wait for a train to deliver your new house. 12,000 pieces to be assembled.
Massive financial losses caused Sears to close its homes department in the 1930s. But Sears homes, many approaching 100 years old, survive all over the country.
Launched a 3D printed home business to fight the affordability crisis. His company, Allquist 3D,
completed the first ever owner-occupied printed home in Williamsburg, Virginia in 2021. Look at that, 3D.
A traditional style new-story community of about 100 homes will take close to a year to complete. With the 3D home printer, if we just had one, it would take about 3 months to complete the community.
The company that we partner with closely, Hive 3D, their printer is not that large. You can see a photo of it on your screen there and can be moved around quite easily. So the footprint of the printing operation is really no larger than the footprint of a standard stick-built home. However, it is a much more affordable, much more sustainable, and a much quicker process, which makes us really, really excited.
So it takes fewer people, I take it, to do this, but there's a capital investment up front because you got to have the equipment sitting there. How much density can you build? Number of stories? Like, if I'm a developer, am I looking into this in a way that's going to make sense?
Sure. So there's a number of different approaches. Hive and ourselves are looking more from an affordable housing point of view. So we're focusing on the smaller end of the market, but really high quality homes. There's other home builders such as Lennar, who are partnered with a group called Icon as well. They're building much larger homes. So absolutely the higher quality homes are certainly one approach people that can take. But our view is that at Eco Material, our core mission is on sustainability. And sustainability with these 3D printed homes and our green cement technology is going to go two ways. One, it's going to mean affordable homes, high quality homes, and we have a housing crisis in the United States right now, and so that's necessary. And the second piece is that we have to do it environmentally responsibly because 40% of emissions are from the construction industry, of which 8% alone come from cement, Portland cement. Our material has virtually no emissions associated with it and actually works better and is less expensive than the Portland cement-based alternatives that are out there.
Are there the incentives, say in tax law or wherever, to capture the economic value of that eco-friendliness, or is that yet to come?
That's yet to come in most markets. There are some markets, for example, California, where they're focused more on reducing the amount of Portland cement that is embedded in concrete. Cement is the glue that you use to bind together all the sand and the aggregates in the water to make your concrete. It's also the largest man-made material in the world, 4.5 billion tons a year. So that means for you specifically, 1,000 pounds of cement is produced every year. It's the largest man-made commodity in the world behind water. And so we have a huge emissions problem with that. California, some other states are focused on that, but in most places there's no green premium yet. So we need to be much more thoughtful, and that's why we're able to compete actually on cost as well.
Quickly, who owns the printer?
Who owns the printer? The printer is owned by our partners at Hive. Hive 3D.
Most Americans know there's something amiss. When I have conversations, I've done town halls around the country and so forth. People know there's something wrong. They see it. They watch it. This is not the America, particularly older people they grew up in. It's easier to reach people of, shall we say, our generation. A little bit tougher with younger people because in many cases they haven't seen democracy work the way it should. They associate an American role on the world stage with Iraq and Afghanistan rather than with the Gulf War or Korea or World War II. So it's a little bit harder, I find, at times to break through with a younger generation. But I think, Americans know, they get it, that something is not quite working, and we've got to fix it. We can't assume it's going to get better on it.
Going to a different economy. And we're going to be learning more about that as we go. But clearly, we're learning that things can be done from remote locations. We're learning that technology can replace people even more than we thought.
We're not going back to the same economy. We're recovering, but to a different economy, and it'll be one that is more leveraged to technology. And I worry that is going to make it even more difficult than it was for many workers.
In Silicon Valley, and my friends who work in technology know that what we did to the manufacturing workers, we are now going to do to the retail workers, the call center workers, the fast food workers, the truck drivers, and then even bookkeepers, accountants, insurance agents, lawyers, and on through the economy. So what happened to the manufacturing workers is a very clear sign.
And so we'll import Chinese-based CBDC technology. So it's going to be CBDC in a box provided to you by the People's Bank of China.
But every stock, every bond, every currency, every commodity, every piece of art, every private business, every piece of real estate will eventually be a token on a blockchain, an entry on a ledger, permanent and immutable. We will have truth instead of trust, and we will save over $7 trillion a year. 6 to 8% of global GDP is wasted by the friction of the trust industry that's necessary when you have dual entry accounting. With triple entry accounting, which is what a blockchain is, we get rid of all of that friction. It's a beautiful future.
Like what you see in China and their social credit scoring systems, right? If we get identity wrong, it could be a tool to enslave humanity. And if we get it right, it could be a tool to liberate humanity. And as an American, I'm obviously rooting for the one that's on the side of freedom.
Bitcoin is an international asset. And also, I do believe the role of crypto is, it's digitizing gold.
I actually believe this technology is going to be very important. Look at it. We have been part of the huge revolution in investing through ETFs. We believe that ETFs will be changing the whole way we invest. Many people still use it as a means, people are investing it for indexing. No, the majority of people who are putting money in in ETFs are active investors that are buying exposure. The entire bond market is being transformed as we talk right now. I believe the next generation for markets, the next generation for securities will be tokenization of securities. And if we can have that distributed ledger that we know every beneficial owner, every beneficial seller, we all have our code of who's buying, who's selling, instantaneous settlement. And think about it, it changes the whole ecosystem.
Chinese bank ICBC has been hit by a ransomware attack, and the U.S. Treasury market, as a result of that, has been disrupted. This, according to the Financial Times. We're getting at more right now with Bloomberg's Shonali Bassick. Shonali, what do we know?
Listen, we have the Financial Times now reporting that ICBC, one of China's largest banks here, was hit with a ransomware attack. And remember, they're a very significant intermediary in the Treasury market. The SIFMA has told its members that this has been part of the reason here that the system is kind of clogged up, if you will, during that auction that we saw a little bit before. The attack had prevented ICBC, according to the Financial Times, from settling Treasury trades on behalf of other market participants. A large executive at a major bank also telling the paper that such a large party on the fixed income clearing corp creates major concerns, potentially impacting the liquidity of Treasury markets.
Now, it was not just a poor auction. It was absolutely lousy, and when the dealers have to step in to save a Treasury auction, that's a rare occurrence. And
Cryptoteacher and the New World Order book, plus the 3 Kids books. It's time to re-educate. Also, new to cryptos, Coinbase, Bitrue, Binance. Do not forget book links and crypto links are in the description. The stock channel, guys. Don't forget to go like, subscribe, spread everywhere. You have your Kobo, your chip stocks, your banking, your gaming. While everybody's sitting at home, get on stocks, the Seaver, the biotech stocks. And while everybody's at home wishing, they were still getting that free money. What are they doing? Drinking and smoking weed. Don't forget about those stocks, and you have a wonderful day. The most powerful person in the world is the storyteller. The storyteller sets the vision, values, and agenda of an entire generation to come. Steve Jobs. And guys, I truly believe in this. When you look at the New World Order, they're the storytellers. And that's the reason why I wrote my New World Order book. But guys, now it's time to change the current generation. And I wrote 3 kids books. I love the Trinity because I understand the power that's in it. So I have 3 books. We have an opportunity to change the generation, to educate, not just me, but I want to show you that I take action on a daily basis. And I want you to take action on a daily basis. Whether it's your job, whether it's in your community, we have an opportunity right now to educate the masses. I posted this on my Twitter account. Please share, but this is a short clip of the 3 books. There's going to be a clothing line and action figures. Please get these books for your kids, nephews, cousins, friends, so therefore we can start the re-education now. Because as we see, the 4th Industrial Revolution foundation is definitely here. robots, algorithms, drones, taking humanity out the picture. We have to re-educate. But let's get into the video.
Part 1. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save the village. Part 2. King Joshua and Grandma Tam save New York from COVID-33. Part 3. King Joshua and Grandma Tam goes to China.
It's mandatory to get part 1, part 2, and part 3 of this series. It's time to re-educate Generation Z.